Hi, everyone. This is Brett Thielen, Science Director and Resident Salamander Lady at the Harris Center for Conservation Education. And it's the day after our 2024 Salamander Brigade volunteer training. And I thought that this year's training could use a little more information on what to expect on big night. So I thought I'd make this bonus video to give you a play-by-play of a night in the life of a crossing brigadier. So here we go. It really, your first migration night or any migration night of the year really starts before that night because you are, of course, keeping your eye on the weather and making some preparations. So if you have signed up for our email list, you might have gotten an email from me a day or two before the big night that says, Monday's looking good. We're keeping our eye on the weather that night, but right now it looks promising. And then you will have headed over to our website, to the harriscenter.org salamander forecast. So you have a 5-day forecast. It's color-coded, red, yellow, and green. We almost never turn a day green until the day of, and that is because spring weather in New England is so fickle and changes on a dime, and we never really feel confident more than a day out if it's a really promising migration night. But in addition to the color-coded 5-day forecast, we also have narrative information, especially on nights when there's likely to be a migration. So that's where you can find out whether the Keene crossing sites will be closed to vehicles, which crossing sites are likely to have site coordinators that night, which parts of the region are more likely to have a migration than others. So you've already gone there, you've checked that out. And while you're on the website, you also looked at crossing sites, looked at our crossing site map, and figured out which site you want to go to. And maybe you even went and checked that out in the daylight so you could see the lay of the land, figure out where to park, and just kind of get your bearings. So this is all before your migration night. But when things look good and you are excited to head out for a big night, the next thing you're going to do, of course, is grab your gear, your reflective vest, your rain gear, your headlamp, your pencils, your clipboards. If you are going to a site with a site coordinator, they will likely have data forms printed out for you on Write in the Rain paper, but it's always a good idea to have some data forms that you've printed out ahead of time too. And of course, if you're going to one of our many sites that do not have site coordinators, you'll want to bring your own notebook or data forms as well. And you're going to get ready to head out anytime after sunset, or maybe arrive around sunset. Amphibians typically get moving if conditions are good, maybe half an hour or so after nightfall. So that maybe is the timing that you are aiming for, as long as all the conditions are aligning, as long as the rain has already begun, temperatures are warm, that sort of thing. When you get to your site, if it's a site with a site coordinator, it will probably have salamander crossing signs. You might see some traffic cones. You are going to look for the site coordinator and check in with them. You'll know who they are because they're wearing reflective vests that say Harris Center on the back in reflective lettering. And you're going to just say hi, tell them your name, ask them if there's anything that you should know about the site that night. They can give you a data form if you want, or just answer any questions you have. And of course, many sites don't have site coordinators. And if you're at one of those, you can skip this step. And then the fun begins. So you are going to walk slowly up and down the street, shining your flashlight and looking for amphibians in the road. It's really important to not run at crossing sites on these nights. It can be quite hard to see spring peepers and other small amphibians until you're right up on them. So you want to walk slowly and look carefully. And it's really great to work with a team. So you're multiple people looking. If you find an amphibian, you're going to move it off the road, place it off the pavement, and it's really important to move them in the direction that it was heading when you found it. Early in the season, most of them will be moving towards the wetland, but as we get later into the season, you might find them moving in both directions. There could be some who just haven't gotten to the wetland yet and are still ready to go lay eggs, and there could be some who have already laid their eggs and are done with courtship for the year and are heading back to the woods. And so they know where they want to go, and our job is just to help them along. You're also going to mark it on your data sheet, keep tallies. Really great to work in a team with one person on the data sheet and the other people moving critters across the road. And then you will repeat this for as long as you like. Um, you can stay at your site for hours if the amphibians are hopping and you are stoked. If it gets cold or dry and activity slows up, it's perfectly fine to head home. You decide for yourself when it's time to head home. We have people who come for half an hour. We have people who come for 4 hours. And of course, it all depends on conditions that night, how excited you are to be there, how many amphibians are out and about, how cold you feel. If you're at a site where the site coordinator, we do ask that you check in with them again before you leave so they know that you're leaving. And that's also a chance for you to either hand them your data sheet or tell them your counts so that they can take everybody's counts from that site for that night and submit them all together to the Harris Center. If you don't have a site coordinator or site, hold on to your counts and take them home with you. On your way home, some of you may be able to have walked to your site, which is really the best possible scenario. But for many of us, we have to drive to our crossing sites. And so on the drive home, you're going to take it slow because there's a really good chance that there will be frogs and salamanders on the road in many places on your drive. So take it slow, keep your eye out, take your time. And then when you do get home, if you were at a site that did not have a site coordinator and you have not yet handed in your data, you're going to go to the harriscenter.org, to the website, and you're going to navigate to the Salamander Crossing Brigade volunteer materials page, scroll down a little bit, and you'll find the data submission section. And you can click submit counts to give us your counts and other information like weather, start time, end time, how many of you were out there, that sort of thing. And if you have photos that you want to share with us, you can click the submit photos button and share them that way as well. We love to see and share photos from all of our brigades. If you are sharing them with us through that button, we are assuming that you give us permission to share them through our website, our emails, our social media. We will always provide photo credit for your pictures. This is also the place, if you are at a site that is not on our map, where you can click report a new crossing site and give us some location information about that spot. We really encourage you to do this that night, if possible, or the next morning over your morning coffee. And that's pretty it at the end of the night. Hopefully you're smiling and reflecting on what a magical night it was, and excited to go out for more.